pretty interesting casting news for you guys. And this movie update involves Jamie Foxx's return as the character Electro in the Tom Holland Spider-Man 3 movie. And I am kind of interested to know how this is all going to work, because he first appeared in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, quite a few years ago. And now he's returning as this blue character, which coincidentally he said on Twitter or on Instagram that he is not going to be blue. So I don't know how that's exactly going to work. Now I know maybe a lot of people weren't a huge fan of his appearance in the movie. I personally, liked it, a bit, but now to completely reimagine his character, I mean, it just seems unthinkable, and especially returning to a movie that has already been in this quite extensive expanded Marvel universe, and now it really is truly expanding in the Spider-Man multiverse. But we already kind of saw that with the Sony animated movie Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, which I love, by the way, and I'm glad it's getting a sequel. But now we get to see the live-action version of what a Spider-Man multiverse looks like. And of course, Marvel is no stranger to creating their version of the multiverse with the Doctor Strange 2 movie, Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness, which will supposedly hit theaters, within a year or two, but we'll see what happens with all this COVID stuff, how much these movies are going to end up staying in their release date positions. But I'm actually, really interested in seeing what Jamie Foxx has to offer this time around. I mean, even though we're hearing that he's going to be returning as the villain to the Spider-Man role, what does that mean for the other Spider-Mans, including, or should I say Spider-Men, which included Andrew Garfield, which, he was in a movie with, and then we also have the one before that, which was Tobey Maguire, and of course, keeping Tom Holland in the mix. I just think it'll be really interesting to see if they're all going to end up on screen together. I mean, that is probably every fan's dream, to see all these characters appear on screen together, taking out bad guys left and right, and one being Jamie Foxx's character, because, villains never really die, apparently. Some do, but some don't, which is why it'll be really cool to see, how big his role is going to be in the third Spider-Man movie, and if there are any other Marvel references or other references in other Marvel movies like Doctor Strange 2. Just the idea of having the multiverse in the MCU, kind of sounds suspicious, considering that we heard news from the DC side at Warner Brothers that the Flash movie was going to be introducing multiple Batman actors, one of which being Michael Keaton, who was previously in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies as Vulture. Now, if you had to pick which one you liked better between Batman or Vulture, which one would you actually like to see on screen first, even though the third Spider-Man movie is supposed to come out before the Flash movie? It'll be quite the competition, but I guess, for Kevin Feige at Marvel, he would probably say it's not personal, it's just business. So he's just going to raise you another hit at DC, and then that should be it, right? Now, of course, I'm a huge DC fan, so I am rooting for, that universe to be in check, unlike what we've seen at Marvel, who has definitely been on their A game for quite some time. And I'm not just talking about the Avengers movies. To see Michael Keaton be in not just the Flash movie at DC playing Batman, but also playing Vulture once again. We will also get to see him returning as this character in another Sony movie, which the Spider-Man movies were a part of outside of Marvel before they made their little deal between Marvel and Sony. He is going to be in the Jared Leto vampire movie Morbius, which I still don't know when that's exactly going to be released, if it's still sticking to its release date, but I still think it's really cool that he showed up in the trailer for that movie, so we get to see more of these characters getting involved in this universe. I'd say the more the merrier, and I feel like J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson would absolutely agree, because he was in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, but he was also featured at the end of the second Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, I can't exactly say, how he's going to end up coming into the mix here, but of course he played such an iconic character, unlike Commissioner Gordon in Justice League, but we're not going to talk about that. But I think it'll just be really cool to see, how they will handle, all of these characters merging into this one movie. No matter which way you want to spin it, like a spider web, I feel like, no matter what, we may end up being happy, no matter how they, come up with a story for this. And I think it'll just be really cool to see some of these Spider-Man actors, return in their Spider-Man suits. So fingers crossed for that. I just think it will be pretty awesome. So I hope it ends up turning out well, and I will definitely be on the lookout for more news when I hear of it about the third Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. But regardless of all of that, Jamie Foxx returning as Electro will hopefully not be a sight for sore eyes, especially when we won't even know, possibly anytime soon, what his new look could be like. So we'll see how they're going to try to make this all happen. I'm looking at you, Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal. So what do you guys think of this latest Spider-Man 3 news? Are you a fan of Jamie Foxx returning as Electro, and did you like his character in The Amazing Spider-Man 2? And how do you think this will all play out as far as the upcoming MCU movies go? And do you like the idea of having this multiverse in Marvel? So let me know. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Trail Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys later.